No, it's just... Okay, I want to watch this. I want to watch this.
This is 26-year-old Dawson McGee, sitting in a police interrogation room in the early hours of a Tuesday morning. The Monday night before, he stabbed his own mother to death for asking him to move out of the house and get a job. Dawson is unaware that he is being recorded on a hidden camera. In 3 seconds from now, he will hear the sound of the door being opened by a detective. And at that exact moment, you will see a remarkably noticeable switch in his demeanor.
Got something I want to talk to you about.
Oh my god.
I want to talk to you about what happened to your mom.
Nicholas Cruz is gonna come up? Okay. Trigger warning for that, but hold on. I'm gonna post it. I'm looking at this finally. The criminal psychology content is finally here, okay? Y'all wanted this. Trigger warning. What should I do a trigger warning for? Like school shooters. www.twitch.tv. I mean, I don't know. Just like, just literally everything. Like, not just like fucking Nicholas Cruz. It's like everything. Self-harm, maybe. I mean, I feel like you should know. You know what I mean? We're doing criminal psychology, so, but, you know, I guess. Okay. I watch every single video on this YouTube channel. This guy is as unbiased as they come.
Well, you tell me.
People call me and said something happened at home to Mom. They were very bad. What happened to my mom?
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
I was waiting for my brother and sister to tell me.
Okay. Well, so, was your sister home this weekend?
Wait, I'm supposed to have an attorney?
If you want one.
Am I supposed to have I should request an attorney.
Well, that's up to you if you...
Bro, come on, bro. Are you fucking serious, dude? Okay. Cops are really out here trying to get fucking confessions from people. I mean, this dude is like acting, right? And it's bad. He's a fail RP. He's a -1, sure. But like, also at the same time, like, it's wild that the cop is just like, oh, they know he's acting, but still.
We'd like to talk to you.
He's definitely not completely unbiased. He does lean towards the cops.
I would offer. I want to ask for an attorney.
You want to ask for an attorney?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would come as no surprise that a judge deemed him fit to stand trial. A jury then found him legally sane, and he was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of his mother. All of which was in spite of a continuous charade of mental illness similar to the one you see here. Dawson clearly believed that his passage through the legal system would somehow be easier if he were presumed insane, which is a naive, yet somewhat common misconception that many suspects make when facing serious charges. They have this notion that a plea of insanity would either lower the severity of their punishment or liberate them from it altogether. That instead of being sent to prison, they would simply be released back into society, perhaps with a free psychotherapeutic program to attend on the weekends. This is, of course, a far cry from reality. In the United States, if you're found responsible for a serious offense, but also found not guilty of the crime by reason of insanity, you will be institutionalized at a high-security psychiatric facility. These institutions are without question some of the darkest and most disturbing places in the system. And if you're not actually suffering from the crippling effects of mental illness, living in this type of environment will be a mentally agonizing experience. The foresight of what occurs inside these units would make the majority wish to avoid them. But once you are in, it is very hard to get out, and you will have to serve the same, if not a greater amount of time than you would have had to serve at a regular prison. So to put it briefly, if you commit a serious offense and then pretend to be crazy in order to get away with it, your life from that point forward will be an extremely dark and uncomfortable.
Pretty sure if it's bad if you don't have a mental illness, you know, it's probably still bad if you do have a mental illness as well. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's just that, like, we kind of don't treat people with mental disabilities as full human beings, so we don't even fucking comprehend that. Think about it like as though it hurts them or harms them. You know?
Comfortable existence, whether you manage to fool the
Also,
system.
by the way, this is one area where the NA and EU asylums match one another, for the record.
Hold on.
Like asylums, like these sorts of asylums, like these sorts of institutions are horrifically fucking arcane and are horrible, even in the EU. Why the fuck are everyone spamming dumb shit? Happy birthday, opening juke. Stop. Dude, nothing triggers me more than like the fucking offline chat shitters that like literally think because they have like 60 of them, they can just like motivate the entire chat to start spamming shit. You really trigger the fuck out of me when I'm in the middle of talking about like fucking insane asylums and shit like that, okay? Stop. Stop. You're fucking annoying me. Fuck, dude. You're so selfish and stupid when you do that. It's very cringe when you do that. Go back to your fucking Discord and talk amongst yourselves. Those places are much worse because the people in criminal psychiatric facilities filled with criminally violent and criminally insane people rather than people who didn't commit a crime. Offliners in every channel always seem to have a huge ego. Yeah. Insane asylums are not a politically correct word anymore. Yes, you're correct. That's why I said asylums, but even then, it's like, I wasn't saying insane asylum, I'm saying asylum. Okay, let's keep
System
going.
or not.
Oh, before I continue, thank you for the fucking weird break for me, because I'm going to hit that ad break right here, boys. Top of the hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break. You already know. If you'd like to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. Do it for $5 or for free. No transition here, okay? Just hitting that fucking ad break because I want to watch the shit out of this. And I got to pee as well.
But there is one benefit, which is the elimination of capital punishment. The United States cannot execute someone deemed insane during the time of their offense, which is the only conceivable reason a defendant would cling to this narrative even after knowing what lies ahead should it succeed. And this happens to be a notion that ties in closely to the primary subject of this video.
What the fuck was that, dude? Bro, what the fuck was that, dude? Oh my god, that was so fucked up. Why does this motherfucker do a jump scare in the middle of a fucking... Oh my god. That wasn't in the OG edit? What the fuck? Wait, what?
The United States cannot execute someone deemed insane during the time of their offense, which is the only conceivable reason a
I don't want to show it to you guys. I just want to see
defendant
what
would cling to this narrative even after knowing what lies ahead should it succeed.
Oh! Oh, that's so creepy! Oh, it's Nicholas Cruz, dude! Why did he do that? Oh! Oh, it's so scary! What the fuck? Bro, I literally thought this was supposed to be fucking... like a serious video. Why? Oh. Oh, it's so fucking scary, dude. I don't want to show it.
Yo.
Stop overreacting. It never happens again, but it's really weird. Dude, you don't want to see it. You don't want to fucking... It's not that bad. Okay, motherfucker. I'm running it again. It's not that bad, Andy.
And this happens to
Watch.
this narrative even after knowing what lies ahead should it succeed. And this happens to be a notion that ties in closely to the primary.
There you go, dude. It's not that bad. Fuck you. It is literally bad, dude. And I did that while cutting the fucking video. And it didn't, like, scare the fuck out of you. That's so bad if you're not expecting it, dude. That's so creepy. That's a fucking murderer, dude. That's like a real fucking murderer.
Hasan, why did he do that?
Bravest Turk? Yeah, dude. I don't fuck with that shit at all.
Primary subject of this video. It will focus on one particular individual whose interrogation footage is so fraught with blatant trickery that most of the segments presented to you won't even need suggestive commentary. You can simply observe and judge for yourself whether you see authentic behavior or not. But before showing you what pretending to be crazy looks like, we'll briefly show you a genuine case of the criminally insane, or at least a far more convincing one. This is 18-year-old Jared Murray, a freshman at East Central University in Oklahoma. On a Wednesday evening in December, he asked fellow student Gennaro Sanchez for a ride to Walmart. Once they got there, Murray pulled out a handgun and made Gennaro drive to an isolated country road where he shot him twice in the head. He then attempted to hitchhike to Canada, but was soon apprehended by police on the side of the road. He immediately confessed to the crime once apprehended, and was then interrogated by the arresting officer.
I went down to his dorm room and asked if I could be given a ride to Walmart in exchange for $20 gas money.
So he took you to Walmart?
Yes, sir.
And did you both go in?
No, we did not go in, sir.
Okay, and why not?
We pulled into the parking lot, then I pulled the weapon on him and demanded that he take me to Asher, Oklahoma, sir.
Okay, and why did all of a sudden did you decide that you needed to go to Asher?
What?
2 months has.
Because I was planning to take him out into the country and kill him.
Okay. Did he say anything?
He panicked, went to pull out his phone. I yanked the phone out of his hand, and then he panicked some more, kept telling me not to kill him. To make him feel more comfortable, I unloaded the clip, unloaded the bullet from the chamber, handed them over to him, and that eased his nerves a little. Then I pulled a second clip out of my pocket and set it on my lap.
Can confirm this man is
And so
legitimately
you're driving
mentally
east,
ill.
and so I guess at some point, did you decide now was the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what happened?
I loaded the gun quickly, chambered the round quickly, shot once, missed, shot a second time, hit, jumped out of the car, went around. He was driving 10-15 miles an hour, so it was rather slow. Ran around the hood of the car, and of course it was slow and wasn't purposely driving. Tried to pull him out, couldn't get him out until he already had hit the tree. Pulled him out there, dumped him into the, before I dumped him into the ditch, I heard him gurgling. I'm not sure if that was a physiological or physical process after death, but I thought that he might have still lived through that somehow, because...
Bro, this is like... These videos, I'm realizing, are just like the watered down version of like of Live Leak shit. This is literally like the watered down version of Live Leak shit. Like, this is fucking crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I gotta put fucking trigger warning on this, dude. Holy shit. What the fuck?
He was gurgling, so I shot him again and then shoved him down in the ditch.
He makes a half-hearted attempt to conceal the body with a handful of leaves and a stick. He then walks in the direction of the highway.
Did you get back on the highway?
Yes, sir.
And which way did you go?
No, sir.
And what were your intentions?
I did run an ad earlier. Hold on, I gotta pee. I'll be back in 1 second.
You was going to Canada?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He states that his plan was to escape into Canada, but he had nothing to escape with, not even a passport.
I had tried hitchhiking most of the way because the only way this was going to work, factoring in my belief that y'all found the crime scene, is if someone were to give me a ride there and then. And then whenever your patrol car was pulling up behind me, I didn't know it was a patrol car. I stuck my thumb out and you was there for the rest.
Jerry, I want to ask you just point blank, Because, I mean, you sat here and confessed to,
Pretty much everything.
in my mind, and I think you might agree with me, just cold-bloodedly killed a young man tonight.
Yes, sir.
Or last night. Have you ever killed anybody else?
No, sir.
You will now see the detective attempt to establish a motive for the crime.
I guess I'm having a hard time understanding what you got out of it. Can you help me?
I don't really get anything out of it.
Do you feel any remorse?
I'm sad that I got caught so quickly.
Tell me why I should believe you that there just was going to be one person that was going to suffer
Love
from
you,
your
Hasan.
consequences of killing.
You have no reason to believe me, sir.
I guess I'm just still having a real hard time understanding why.
Okay, I'm not the only one. I've seen this in the chat as well. I'm not the only one who feels
Yes,
like
sir,
he's
Mr. Pike is
speaking like Ben
certainly
Shapiro,
popcorn.
right?
The detective
He
fails
just
to
sounds like a
establish a
Redditor.
solid motive for a further 2 minutes. The discussion eventually lands on the victim's long-term girlfriend.
You don't think she's going to be upset, heartbroken?
I think she will be, sir.
How does that make you feel?
No different, sir.
Okay.
1 year.
I think you've been honest with me. I think you've told me just straight up, right out of the book, what happened.
Yes, sir.
This cop's like, this is the reason why white people get away with like lesser sentences, dude. Cop's just like, you seem like an honest broker. Very, very impressive, sir. Thank you for your cooperation. I think you can go home now.
But, you know, you've done a terrible thing tonight.
Yes, sir.
You killed a young man
Yes, sir.
just for the simple fact of, I guess pretty much this to say for you.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think should happen to you?
Death sentence, sir.
And why do you think you deserve the death sentence?
An eye for an eye, sir.
Do you believe an eye for an eye?
Yes, sir.
What the fuck? What the
Jared
fuck?
Murray was found not guilty by reason of insanity. He was committed to a high-security mental facility where he is to remain indefinitely.
Anything to say for yourself today?
No, ma'am.
Any reason why you might have done this to this young man?
No, ma'am.
No reason.
No, ma'am.
You have nothing to say for yourself.
No, ma'am.
You wanna
School
tell
shooting
the
trigger
community
warning. This
anything?
video is about Parkland shooting. I
Did you
mentioned
confess
it already.
to police?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you proud of what you've done?
No, ma'am.
Do you have remorse for what you've done?
No, ma'am.
He appears completely void of human emotion. No regret, remorse, shame, nor fear. He had both taken a life and destroyed his own, yet seems indifferent to the circumstances. With respect to his interrogation footage, the most conspicuous element was the complete lack of self-preservation. He didn't once attempt to deflect blame, nor afford himself any type of justification for his actions.
Okay, so the thing that you should self-examine when you watch this is how hard you fucking focus on the aesthetics. Because this person is like over the top polite, but you're missing the forest for the trees here. When you hyper-focus on his politeness, you fail to comprehend the action that he engaged in, and immediately you think about like, a lot of people do this. Like a lot of people get caught up in the aesthetics of an action rather than the action itself and the consequences of said action. Like, remember that. Remember that. Do some self-examination.
He simply spoke in a factual, non-biased manner, impartial to how his words may have been taken or even twisted to be used against him. There was no calculated structure to his behavior whatsoever. So with this notion in mind,
I don't
let's
like these
move on
cuts.
to the
It's, like, kinda
primary
weird.
subject of this video.
So this is going to be about Nicholas Cruz, I guess. Did Nicholas Cruz act like he was crazy to try to avoid a sentence or something? I did not know this part.
Go there a minute, have a seat on the porch there, all right? Pull your hands up a little bit. Have a seat. Did you feet up? No, don't, do not think about getting up, all right, buddy?
This is 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, who 3 hours and 55 minutes prior to this moment murdered 17 people at his former high school in Parkland, Florida. Among the dead were 3 teachers and 14 students, the majority of whom were 14 years old. A further 17 students were seriously wounded during the massacre. The gunman dropped his rifle 7 minutes into the rampage and then blended in with the crowd as he ran out of the building. He was at large for 1 hour and 20 minutes, during which time he stopped off at a Subway and then a McDonald's, where he sat down and casually spoke to one of the victim's brothers. The student was unaware that his older sister had just been shot through the chest by the man sitting across the table.
Oh
the
my
description
God.
of the shooter was transmitted by police over the
Wait,
radio,
is there-
which led to an officer identifying and arresting him on a street just 2 miles away from the
Almost
school.
1 year
He
with
was
my
taken
boy
to the
Hassan.
nearest hospital and
Wow,
examined
I've
by
been
a
watching
doctor
these
for
for
roughly
2
1
months.
hour and 45 minutes. He was medically cleared and then transferred to the local sheriff's office where he was subjected to interrogation.
No, do not think about getting up, right, buddy?
From the moment the subject entered the room, his eyes have been fixed upon nothing but the floor. He's held on to this downward-facing gaze as if he's either in a state of shock or disconnected from the moment. At the exact moment the door shuts, he lifts up his head to observe his surroundings. His behavior completely shifts once he believes no one is watching. If we look at his demeanor a moment earlier, we can see the contrast. He went from being detached to alert. His behavior changed as the environment changed, which is a recurring theme throughout this interrogation. It shows us that his mind isn't wandering off during these moments of apparent disconnection. He is in fact fully present and very aware of what's going on around him.
I didn't mention how the police also bought him Burger King after they caught him. No, that was Dylan Roof. That was another white supremacist, black church shooter who was given Burger King, not like taken to Burger King, I don't think, but like given Burger King after he was caught. And that's a part of the interrogations process in a lot of instances, even though it is used as a example of like what happens to white shooters versus black people that are perceived to be shooters. I don't remember a lot of this, dude. I don't remember, and I covered the shit out of this, but
As he looks up, his eyes immediately lock onto the camera. He now knows he is still being watched, and his following gestures will resemble that of someone with suicidal tendencies. At face value,
What the
these
fuck?
externalized suicidal thoughts may seem genuine to some, but when framed with
bro,
the
what's the difference between being like having a this is actually in a weird way, you guys were saying like someone was saying like this might be ableist, but like in a weird way this like does a decent job of parsing through like people with genuine disabilities versus people who are portraying themselves as having a disability in an effort to get out of a of like the worst kind of punishment that you could get, like capital punishment. And it's surprisingly doing a decent job of parsing through that, where like it shows that people with disabilities aren't automatically criminals, and a lot of people are even a lot of people are doing that. But what I find to be really interesting about this is like it's still. Take a deep breath, man. You sound freaked out as fuck. Dude, I am freaked out. This is a fucking wild video. But
the more I learn about this Cruz guy, the more I don't care for him. Just my opinion.
what I find to be really interesting is like, bro, when you do this, you're still fucking like there's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? There's actually something wrong with your, I don't know if it's like a chemical reason or I don't know what the fuck's happening there, but like who the fuck just does a mass shooting and then like portray themselves as like as suicidal? I feel like there's something different that maybe it's not, it's still sociopathic behavior. You know what I mean? Anyways,
rest of his behavior throughout this interrogation, they are exposed for what they really are: an act, a calculated attempt to garner sympathy and paint his character in what he believes to be a more positive light.
Does it feel like
Alright,
extreme
how you
remorse?
doing,
No,
Nick?
that's survival instinct, my friend. Him fucking acting in a suicidal way there, that's survival instinct. That's someone who is incredibly aware of his surroundings and someone who is literally not detached from reality, but hyper-focused on the consequences of his actions and is literally portraying himself in a way that is different. It is the straight-up opposite. He's trying to fucking do this to potentially get out of a punishment. It's sociopathic behavior, but it's absolutely the opposite of like someone who is detached from reality.
You alright? Gotta be able to speak so I can hear you.
Oh my god, dude, this is the take though. He's probably a Scorpio. This is such Scorpio shit. Dude, that is so insane. What an insane thing to say, dude. My man said, this is exactly what my Scorpio girlfriend is like. Holy shit, dude. That's nuts. Okay. Okay, stop saying he's 100% Scorpio. Astrology Andes are crazy.
Alright, I just need to ask you really your name and date of birth just to confirm I got it right, and then I'm gonna see you want a glass of water or something. What's your first name?
This is a situation where the proof against the suspect is already conclusive. He is without question responsible for the crimes under investigation, making the pursuit of a confession non-essential. The police know he did it, but they need to know why he did it, which would already require a complex strategy in order to obtain the correct information. But the suspect's first recorded statements upon his arrest have now made the procedure considerably more difficult.
What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Dude, he's such a piece of shit,
Voices?
dude.
Voices
I mean,
and
we
demons?
already knew he was a fucking piece of shit. Like, obviously, he's a fucking demon. Like, he literally is a demon scumbag. But the fact that that's like, the fact that he was also like, oh god. Oh, it's making me more angry. How the fuck? I never thought I would like.
What happened?
Shut up. Just be quiet, man.
I literally never thought that I would hate a school shooter even more.
These two words have now forged the primary stratagem of his own interrogation, which is to cut through deception under the guise of supportive examination. The questions will be designed to lock him into a specific narrative about his alleged psychosis, while simultaneously giving him the impression that his responses are for his own benefit. Anything he says now can be used to refute any amendments he might come up with at a later stage. We all know that after this interrogation, he will have significantly more time to think, study, and even seek guidance from professionals about how the legal system interconnects with mental illness. Yet the majority of this forthcoming knowledge could be useless to him depending on what he says during these moments. The more details he gives away, the less options he will have for his defense later on. But pursuing this objective is complicated, as there are two very common scenarios for when this type of suspect gets interrogated. And just to be entirely clear, by this type of suspect, we mean someone who is 1. Pretending to be insane, and 2. Not fooling anyone. Their most common response is to simply shut down. They regress into total silence or some type of catatonic state, and the interrogation never gets off the ground. The other common response is the exact opposite. They erupt into hysteria or supposed delirium, and everything from that point forward becomes incoherent. The lead detective, John Curcio, must not allow either of these scenarios to transpire, and this makes the first 2 minutes absolutely crucial. He needs to create a positive first impression and resemble the furthest thing from a threat, while at the same time maintain a presence of authority. His temperament will be easygoing and non-confrontational, but also encouraging when extracting a response. His role at this moment is the ally. He needs to be liked, respected, but must not be feared. Not yet anyway. Going off the suspect's initial demeanor, the detective will know that he is far more likely to regress into a state of silence at this opening stage, and if he can prevent that from happening within the first 2 minutes, he is over the first obstacle.
Alright, how you doing, Nick? I just need to ask you really your name and date of birth just to confirm I got it right, and then I'm gonna see you want a glass of water or
I'm sure once you've committed an act like that, you just dissociate from what happened. They know exactly what they did. They're just not capable of parsing it. Very possibly some never will. What?
What's your first name? Come on, Nick. Huh?
Nicholas.
Spell it for me.
Okay.
Come on, I'm old. You gotta talk so I can hear you. N-I-K.
No, I don't think the chatter was excusing me. I think he was just trying to describe a situation, but did it not in a great way.
A-S. And what's your middle name? Come on, man, speak so I can hear you.
Jacob.
Jacob. J-A-C. What's your date of birth? Okay, you need to relax, because I'm the last detective or policeman you're going to have to talk to. So right off the bat, that should be somewhat comforting to you to know that I'm the last guy you got to talk to. But the thing about it is, look at me. I got to be able to hear you. Okay? So all I want to do is get basic information from you.
He is close up in his face,
whether you want a
dude.
glass of water, all that stuff. What's your date of birth?
09.
Here, I
January?
deactivated Hive Mind chat for those of you who are wondering.
09 September.
The investigation team already know the answers to these basic questions. Their only purpose are to initiate a response, and their non-threatening nature make it more likely for the suspect to engage. They are essentially the opening wedge to get the two-way dialogue flowing. And although the suspect is still partially committed to his catatonic state, as we can clearly see, he is still responsive, making it unlikely for him to regress into complete silence from this point forward. Everything up to this moment has gone to plan. The detective has one foot in the door, and he can now develop the relationship from a more secure position. He goes about this with a standard method of rapport development, the offer of food and water.
All right, let me do this. You want cold water? You don't know if you want cold water?
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to bring in 2, because I want one. It was hot, and if you decide you want to have it, that's fine. You sure you don't want something to eat? Okay.
The refusal to accept food and water.
Motherfucker said, this is exactly why I'm never killing anyone. Okay, dude. I'm good that is the deterrence for you. I mean, I know it's a joke, but Jesus Christ, dude. Look, it's too awkward. You know, the interrogation afterwards is just way too awkward, dude. But just stop making astrology jokes for 1 second. Holy shit. People, yeah, chatters will literally say anything in the chat. I've already said that, okay? You already know this. This establishes a fucking truth. We already know. But, I don't know what it is. There's just something about this where, like, there's a hunch. Well, as soon as I saw this video, maybe it was like I was led to believe that he is, like, pretending to be crazy because, like, that's what the fucking title is.
Sussy.
But there's something about the way he fucking presents himself where you're just like, yeah, he's like faking it. He has like this fire behind his eyes where you're like, you see like the how do I describe it? Like you see something behind his eyes when you see his fucking face where where like he's sitting in that courtroom, right? Where he's sitting in that courtroom and you're just like, this motherfucker knows what he's doing. You can see the intention and you can see like him feeling good about what he's doing too. Like, oh, I'm actually fucking getting this. I'm actually getting this point across or something. Like there is like an intensity and also intent at the same time. Like he's crafty. It's really fucking weird. I don't know how to describe it.
Water is a familiar response which you may have already seen on this channel.
It's smug. It's so fucking smug. Thank you. That was the word I was thinking of. Like, it's so like, yeah, I did this on fucking purpose. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, I had the power in my hands to do this. And also, like, I'm still purposely trying to fucking, you know, portray myself a certain way.
Glaring manifestation of shame. This is not to be confused with guilt nor remorse, both of which require the acceptance of responsibility, which in turn directs our focus outwards on the feelings of others. Shame, on the other hand, shifts our focus on the perceptions of others towards ourselves. The subject is afraid of how it will look if he accepts the offer considering the circumstances. He instead wants to appear as if he's so negatively affected by the events that he's unconcerned with meeting his basic needs.
Of course, I have so many different keys. All right, I'll be right back.
Once again, his demeanor abruptly switches when the detective leaves the room. With his head buried in his hands, it's anyone's guess as to what is going through his mind at this moment. But what you are about to see next is extremely revealing. Cruz was a left-handed shooter. The surveillance at the school would confirm this, and if you pay close attention to the movements of his hands in the next moments, although very subtle, you can see that he's reimagining holding his weapon.
What the fuck?
But what's more telling is how his demeanor abruptly stops and then completely switches right before he looks in the direction of the camera. He goes from holding a rifle and beginning to smirk, to then pretending to cry and reverting back to his suicidal mannerisms. This all occurs in under 4 seconds.
I mean, he's also fucking aware that, like, he's talking to a camera. Like, he's aware that he's currently being recorded, or rather, like, someone, they know that there is a camera in the room. Like, that's, again, awareness entirely of, like, that's not, like, detachment that you would experience.
It could be assumed that for a brief moment, he was not only recollecting the attack, but gaining gratification from doing so. He then remembered he was on film, giving reason for the sharp adjustment. His true self was reliving the attack and enjoying his work, while his false self was so dejected to the point he was externalizing suicidal thoughts. Complete opposites.
No.
His next calculated charade is one of self-harm. He first bites himself without drawing blood, or leaving any marks that were visible in his jail intake photographs.
That part, it felt like a little bit of a stretch, by the way. He switches up from holding his gun with his left hand to, like, saying "kill me." Like, that seemed like a bit of a stretch.
He then scratches and squeezes at the 2 needle punctures in his arm from where his blood was taken at the hospital. At the very moment the detective re-enters the room, he will act as if he's desperately trying to conceal his self-injurious behavior.
I mean,
All right.
He did smile.
Setting aside the glaring contradiction that he just murdered and maimed dozens of people while leaving himself without so much as a scratch, it's the frequency of these little charades that makes their deception so transparent. This is a person who is not self-injurious, pretending to be someone that is. But it's such a feeble attempt at feigned self-harm, it would almost be a comical moment if the circumstances weren't as horrific.
So if they're not bleeding anymore and you want them off, we can pull them off. I'll get you a garbage can. You want them off? Just put them on the throw them on the floor in the corner. Alright, this one is mine, because I already opened it. This one's yours in case you change your mind.
The next 4 minutes are the extremely tedious process of getting the subject to engage further through basic questions. The topic of his phone will now be brought up.
What about your phone? Do you have a phone?
I lost it.
When did you lose it? Today?
Today.
Okay. What kind of phone is it?
I don't know.
Okay, is it a flip top, an iPhone, a Samsung? It's a phone.
I hate talking about rehabilitative justice because this is the one fucking instance, and I literally always talk about this. This is the one instance where, like, restorative rehabilitative justice does not have a solution currently. Like, our modern medicine does not have a solution for antisocial disorders like this, that where people engage in violent actions. There's no solution for psychopathy, especially like with people with violent urges and serial killers. There's no solution whatsoever. So there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything about it. Now, that obviously does not mean that you should treat everyone like they're fucking violent, psychopathic murderers. And no, we can identify them. No, that's not true either. Identifying psychopathic behavior is incredibly fucking hard. Especially because psychopathic people are very good at portraying themselves as healed or non-psychotic all the fucking time. So no, it is literally the one area where in criminal justice where it is remarkably difficult to figure out what to do with people that have that have urges like this and will act on them in a violent way. Sociopathic, but yeah, okay, that's yeah.
Number.
How do you know so much about this? Everything? No, well, because sociopaths are overrepresented. I mean, the data is like flawed in this field, but sociopaths are overrepresented in both the prison population and also CEOs in like boardrooms. That's why, and also in government. So, but again, it's very difficult to it's very, very difficult to parse through this data for the aforementioned reasons. So that's the reason why I love like I've read up a lot about this stuff. I'm also fascinated by what was it called, like Ed Kemper and the entire like FBI manual on how to look at psychopathic behavior. I'm trying to do recall right now. I'm having a hard time, but Mindhunt was the show that revolves around, or Mindhunter was a show revolving around like that actual process of like documenting psychopathic behavior. It's a lot of it is still outdated. A good book, by the way, a good book to read on this specifically is John Ronson wrote, or is it John Ronson or Ron John? Oh my God, I'm like, yeah, it is John Ronson who wrote he's British, who wrote a book called The Psychopath Test. He also wrote Men Who Stare at Goats, by the way. He's been on Joe Rogan a bunch of times. He's a really interesting British journalist, John Ronson. The Psychopath Test is a really interesting book that I highly recommend you guys read if you care about this sort of stuff. It's very good. Why the fuck you on Vice? What strings did you pull? Literally no strings.
I can't remember.
Okay.
He will now begin to feign a
So you're saying it's okay to be psycho if you are LGBTQ? Good God, the leftists are stupid? What? Dude, I'm sorry, but you have to have a brain that is this tall. Okay? You have to have a brain processing power that is above this line for you to be able to watch this, okay? For you to be able to watch my content. I'm just letting you know. You have to have a tall brain, and unfortunately, you do not make up the processing power for this. They're baiting you, dumbass.
State of hysteria, which then morphs into a simulated panic attack and fake hyperventilation. The detective will need to refute the act immediately as to not let the subject gain confidence with it, but he also has to maintain rapport and avoid confrontation. He essentially has to tell the subject to knock it off, but in the most passive manner possible.
The rest of the chatters are above the line. Sorry, let's keep going.
I can't remember, dude. I can't.
Okay, Nick, calm down.
Okay.
You've already been medically cleared. I know what's going to be talked about is difficult, but again, you don't remember your phone number. How long you had the phone? How long have you had the phone? Nick, the doctor's already looked at you.
Okay.
Okay, you're fine. You're not having any problems at the moment, and you're perfectly fine. So calm your breathing down.
I mean, he's not perfect.
And I want to believe certain things that you're going to tell me, but, you know, if we're getting where you're going to hyperventilate over a phone number.
He's so bad. He's so bad at acting.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So what's your phone number? Huh?
954.
Okay, 954.
The manic episode is somewhat curbed, but the subject is still clearly committed to it.
954-821.
2007.
2007.
No. 1007.
1007. And again, going back to what kind it is. Do you know if it's an iPhone, a Samsung?
I don't know.
How long have you had it? Every kid knows what the phone is, man. I got kids your age.
Ever since my mother died.
I know, I heard about that. That's what I was going to talk about next.
This is a turning point. Cruz's adoptive mother had indeed passed away the year prior from pneumonia. The topic is sympathetic towards himself, and it seems to have stopped the feigned hysteria in its tracks. Compared to his neurotic behavior in the minutes leading up to this moment, he all of a sudden appears calm. He is clearly receptive, and thus responsive, to the cue of compassion when it's directed at himself. The detective recognizes this, and although he said he would talk about the subject's mother next, he instead focuses on it immediately to keep him engaged.
Alright. So, but you had, since your mom died, how long has your mom passed?
I can't remember, I think.
Okay. This year, last year?
November.
November? Okay. Okay, when you were...
You consider yourself healed?
When your mom
Healed
passed,
of
were
what?
you living with her?
Yes.
Okay, what city was that?
Parkland.
Parkland?
The subject drops the act and becomes more engaged in the conversation. The detective inquires further about his mother for roughly 3 minutes before shifting the discussion. It focuses mainly on the subject's background, and he first declares that he was depressed for the majority of his childhood. He then reveals his history of drug use, which consists of marijuana and Xanax. After that, he claims to have attempted suicide by alcohol poisoning 2 years ago, but in his own words, was able to sleep it off. He then states that he was employed at the Dollar Tree for the last 2 years working as a cashier.
So you've been able to hold down a job for 2 years, that's pretty good, right?
Yes.
Other than Dollar Tree, where else did you ever work?
Lawn mowing.
What?
Lawn mowing.
Lawn mowing? Oh, okay. Alright, when you tried to kill yourself with alcohol, your mom was still alive. What were you depressed about back then?
Loneliness.
Loneliness?
Loneliness.
Friends? No friends? Or what kind of loneliness? I mean, everybody gets lonely.
Solitude.
Solitude? You don't have a lot of friends?
No.
Segment.
Okay. Today, when I say today, starting from last night when you went to bed to this morning, did you do any kind of drugs at all? Any Xanax, any marijuana, anything like that? No? Okay.
The subject reveals that he has a biological brother whom he was adopted with. He then claims to have been making $1,200 a month at the Dollar Tree. The discussion now lands on what his aspirations were.
When you weren't depressed, what did you want to be when you got out of school?
Ranger.
A ranger? An Army Ranger? Did you ever apply, fill out any paperwork to try to go to the Army?
I took the ASVAB, failed.
Okay, why'd you fail?
Because I was stupid.
You what?
I'm stupid.
You're stupid? Okay, were you going to take it again?
I was afraid to take it.
Okay, but you had aspirations to do something with your life.
Okay, there's 0% chance that someone who's like at least smart enough to know that like he could get potentially a different kind of sentencing from portraying himself as like mentally unwell would fail the ASVAB. From what I understand, from what I've seen of the ASVAB, because it's like so fucking like, how do you fail the ASVAB? I don't even know if he actually did. Maybe he'll tell.
You want to be that's a hell of a thing to want to be, an Army Ranger.
The discussion moves on to the subject's gun collection, which continues for roughly 4.5 minutes. The attack on the school is yet to be mentioned, but the last gun to now be discussed was his choice of weapon to commit the massacre.
What made you choose out of all the guns to want to buy an AR-15?
Cool looking.
Cool looking? Okay. Now when you bought it, I mean, it was a legitimate purchase. They gave you a receipt and everything, right? So you bought it legally, right? Did you fill out those forms and everything? Okay, you remember those forms? Okay.
The detective now shifts the topic onto his former high school, the same place he carried out the attack.
Now, 3 years ago when you went to Douglas, and obviously you stopped going there, why'd you stop going there?
My depression worsened.
Your depression worsened? And what was going on? Did you just stop school on your own, or did some incident happen where...
Yes, some incident.
Well, what was the incident that happened?
Fought a kid.
You fought a kid? You remember the kid's name?
Yeah.
Ian. And did you guys both get in trouble for the fight, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what did they do? Suspend you?
They suspended me.
Okay. And what happened from there? After you got suspended, you go back to school?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
I like that the Florida reaction to this as a state was launching a program that just gave guns and a $500 stipend to teachers to arm themselves and train themselves with weapons after This happened, by the way. That's real. That literally happened. I think it's called the Pioneer Program. Isn't that what it's called? I forget the name of it. It's something like that. But yeah, fucking Florida, dude.
Why'd you stop going there then?
Felt embarrassed.
The
You felt
Guardian
embarrassed because
program.
you got suspended, or you felt embarrassed because of why?
Because of the fight.
Okay. Well, what was embarrassing about the fight? What were you guys fighting over?
A girl.
A girl? Well, what was embarrassing about it? I mean, did he get the better of you? Was that what was embarrassing, or he got the better of you? Okay.
He has just provided the state with a solid argument for a motive. Establishing a reason for an offense is critical when dealing with claims of insanity. It can not only indicate premeditation, but also calculated malice in connection to the crime, something considered absent in the mind of the criminally insane. He also asserts that he was lonely and depressed while attending the school, all of which can reinforce the argument that he was exacting revenge upon the community in which he felt ostracized.
All right, so you go back to school. What ends up happening? You just stop going to school out there, or you got into more problems? Where they
Got into more problems.
what was the more problems?
Failing class.
Okay.
Not going to school.
Okay. And this was all while your mom was still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Did there come a point in time where you just stopped going there, or they expelled you?
Or I just stopped going and then transferred me.
They transferred you? When they transferred you, was that upsetting to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
As we know, the suspect has made the claim about hearing a voice which he labeled the demon. The detective will now attempt to get a detailed narrative of these perceptual disturbances. He will do so by asking a series of open-ended questions and then continuous follow-up questions thereafter. This will lock him in.
It's not illegal to interrogate someone without a lawyer, dumbass. But he should have asked for a lawyer. Surprised that someone who has the wherewithal did not do that.
Into specific claims about what he was hearing. The more information he gives away, the less he will be able to amend later on. And the more questions that are posed, the more likely he is to make contradictions that can be used against him. The suspect believes this is some type of clinical evaluation for the sake of his own well-being, and this misconception will become glaringly apparent later on. He, at this moment, is oblivious to the fact he is giving information away that will be used to cut through his own defense in years to come.
Also, on top of that, if he fucking immediately rushed to call for an attorney, then he probably calculated the likelihood that he would not look, like he couldn't go for the insanity plea.
You go to the hospital, the doctors clear you, and you're talking about demons. What are the demons?
The voices.
Well, tell me about it. What are the voices about?
It's another voice, the evil side.
Okay. And how long has that voice been going on?
9 months. We have sub-baby together now.
Years.
Did you ever tell anybody about the voice? Never? And what does the voice say to you?
Burn, kill, destroy.
Okay, burn, kill, destroy what?
Anything.
Okay. But have you ever burned, killed, or destroyed anything? What have you burned, killed, or destroyed?
Burned, just fire. Set fire.
To what?
In a pit. Fire.
Oh, a fire pit. Okay, well, I mean, the voice told you to burn something, you built a fire in a fire pit. What's destructive about that? That's what fire pits are made for. What else did the voice tell you to do that's...
Kill animals.
Okay, have you ever killed animals?
Yes.
What kind of animals?
Birds.
Birds? Wild birds or people's
Birds.
pets? How do you kill them?
Birds.
How do you kill them?
Wait for them, kill them.
Oh, can't catch them, so how are you waiting for them?
Out in the grass. Wait for a bird to come up.
There's no way, man. I'm a bird lover. There's no way. You can't catch a bird, Holmes.
No, I mean like...
with a pellet gun? Oh, okay. Where's your pellet gun?
It broke.
Okay. Alright, so the voices tell you...
Damn, dude. He's like, yeah, you done fucked up. Wrong detective, friend. I'm a bird lover. That's crazy. He's like, guess what, dude? I'm a fucking bird lover, bitch. So it's not going to work with me.
To hurt animals and start fires in the fire pit. When was the last time you heard the voice?
Hassle.
Yesterday.
What time was it yesterday?
It was at night.
Okay. And where were we at?
Work.
You're at work? So you're at Dollar Tree. And what's the voice telling you?
Hurt people.
He should have brought a specialist in
people at
bird
Dollar
law,
Tree?
to be honest.
Or hurt people?
Hurt people in general.
Okay. Doesn't say specifically who? Alright. Can you tell how old the voice is?
My age.
Okay. Do you have a good voice too, or just a bad voice? Is there a voice inside you that says, do good things?
The detective will now start getting confrontational, and the subject's behavior will shift once more in response. You will see him get defensive as he attempts to protect his narrative, and his responses will become much faster. He will even cut the detective off multiple times. Keep in mind that he was barely saying anything at the start of this interrogation.
This motherfucker is RP checking him straight up.
No?
Hassle.
Can't be. You held down a job for 2 years. If you were doing things bad, you wouldn't be able to hold a job down for 2 years, right? Okay. I mean, look.
It's me and then my bad side.
I understand. Everybody's got a quote good and bad side. There's people.
No, it's a voice. The voice isn't here.
Bro, he literally keeps trying to hit, like, he can't. This seems like the type of person who, like, saw the Joker and, like, other, you know, like, demonstrations of mental health issues, mental illness. I don't know if that's, like, the appropriate PC thing to say, but, like, and then literally just, like, tied it together with a shoestring and is just trying every fucking cliche he possibly can. It's like he's literally trying out everything. He's like, oh, I'm schizophrenic. Like, oh, I fucking hear voices in my head. Oh, I'm a sociopath. Like, oh, I'm demonstrating, like, self-harm. Do you support the death penalty? No.
And that's me. Just regular me. Just trying to be a good person.
Okay.
Set aside his contradicting behavior for a moment and focus solely on his storyline. In his ideal scenario, we are to believe that he was battling these supposed voices and, in his own words, trying to be a good person. Yet he was unable to reveal or seek help for this internal struggle until the very moment of his arrest. It was quite literally the second he was confronted with his comeuppance that his supposed demons came to light. Now that he is in custody, with the atrocities already committed, he is somehow able to maintain control over the force that was previously keeping him silent. But a deleted video that would later be extracted from his phone would tell a very different story.
Hello. My name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018. My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15 and a couple tracer rounds. I think I can get done. Location is Stone Douglas in Parkland, Florida.
Let's not do red flag laws, by the way. It's great that the FBI had all of this information, literally was warned ahead of time multiple times, and did not take his weapon. It's over. I mean, it's GG's. Like, this is premeditated. He's going to fucking rot in jail, and he deserves it. He deserves to rot under the jail. But, you know, the FBI didn't have this now, but they did actually reach out to authorities multiple times, people in his friends and family, and there was no way to take his guns away from him. So, yeah, just remember that when you look at this case. I don't know if they talk about it here. I don't know if they talk about it here in this video, but yeah, there were multiple reports made. He already had, like, a violent outburst, as he also mentioned. He had, like, a violent outburst as well. And yet, you know, he's fucking, they didn't take his guns away.
It's gonna be
Apolitical video for the most part? Dude, what do you mean apolitical? There is no, like, a political approach to this. Like, that's not politics to say that, like, this dude was, there was no law in place where they could, like, take his guns away from him when the police were informed that he has guns, and he's like, Captain Hindsight? That's not Captain Hindsight, motherfucker. I'm literally talking about something that happened, dude. What the fuck? That's not hindsight. That was happening in that moment where, like, the authorities were informed ahead of time in the past that he had violent, he was demonstrating violent behavior and had fucking guns. Yeah, his neighbors reported him, like, but there was no way for them to take his guns.
A big event. And when you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am.
There are no signs of perceptual disturbances. There is no anguish, doubt, hesitation, or uncertainty when announcing his intentions. By his own narrative, he claims to have continuously fought against the evil intentions of the voice. Yet from a visual standpoint, there is no conflict in this video whatsoever.
It's me and then my bad side.
I understand. Everybody's got a quote good and bad side. There's people.
No, it's a voice. The voice is in here, and that is me just trying to be a good person.
Okay. But obviously, again, when you say it's a voice, it's you. It's all you. The voice is you as well.
Yeah.
The voice didn't force you to do anything, right?
No, the voice did. It's two voices. There's one half that's the good and then the bad.
Yeah.
His rapidly interchanging behavior has now gone from catatonic to manic to hallucinatory to now highly attentive and cautious.
Okay, well, the voice tells me to go to lunch and not pay for my meal, but I pay for my meal because I know that's the right thing to do, right? Okay, let's talk about it. Did the voice didn't tell you to take Uber, right?
Yes, it did.
It did?
Yes.
The voice said take Uber.
Yes.
What?
Did
the voice is in me.
You're the voice.
No, in here.
Okay, it's in your head.
Yes.
What is it? A male voice or a female voice?
Male.
Male.
The subject was beginning.
Bro, the more I see this, the more I realize, like, this motherfucker is not as smart as he thinks he is. I think that's where he fucked up big time. Where, like, he thought he was smart enough to fucking behave this way and get away with it, and he's just, like, not smart enough to portray himself this way. Like, he's saying he's stupid in an effort to be, like, in an effort to break through this other person's defenses. He doesn't think he's stupid. He's smug as fuck.
To panic. But the detective dials it in for the time being and switches the discussion back to more trivial matters. It seems that he wants to consult with the investigators outside before maximizing the pressure, and he reestablishes a certain level of trust before leaving the room.
Let me go. I'm going to go back and see what everybody's doing as far as what they need me to do.
You're not a psychologist or anything? Or?
No, I'm not. I'm a 59-year-old man who's raised 3 children. So I guess that makes me somewhat of a psychologist.
But my sister just graduated and I am super proud of her. You already know we are going to
Dude, come on, dude. It's so fucking obvious, dude. He's like, come on, give me a psychologist. I need to be declared criminally insane.
Okay.
The subject scratches his arm for another 2 minutes. He then switches to a hallucinatory state and appears to be seeing things in the room.
All right. Got some stuff here.
Oh my god,
the detective will once
it literally caught in 144p, dude. Caught in 144p right here, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god, this is like, in a weird way, this is so rewarding to see this fucking piece of shit. Like, it's so rewarding to see this piece of shit, like, get fucking caught in this. Oh my god. Jesus. Caught in 144 hertz, whatever, you know what I mean. Fucking shut up. 480, 122p, dude. Whatever the lowest is, okay? Yeah, 144p. I'm right.
More dismiss the act by pretending to not see it. He will then pose a question to the subject, and the charade will cease immediately.
I was right, you fucking idiots in the chat. I was right.
Here's the water. You put it back over here. You definitely don't want the water, huh?
Y'all suck.
It's very interesting to observe his facial expressions at the exact moments he abandons fake behavior. These are the very brief junctures in which his true self appears to surface. It's easy to get distracted by the present situation as he sits there in a hospital gown chained to the floor, essentially helpless to the cunning devices being used against him. But in moments like this, we are reminded of what we're actually dealing with. A very short time ago, he was not helpless at all. He was the one preying on the helpless, offering them none of the sympathy nor mercy of which he is now trying to garner for himself.
All right, this psychologist you want to talk to. Obviously,
dude, these videos are so good.
What you want to talk to him about. So
I really like this. I never thought I would fucking watch a video without pausing this much for like an hour, and it would keep me fucking captivated from point A to point Z. It's wild how good this channel is. Holy fuck, no wonder they have 35 million views on this video. Having said that, though, if you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, you need to subscribe, because I am going to hit the top of the hour fucking ad break right now. So you already know how that works, boys. If you have a Twitch Prime, you can use it for free here to avoid those ad breaks, or a $5 sub, or you can use an ad block or VPN or something like that if it hasn't been clapped by Twitch already. So I know that there is no transition. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to go back to the video now. Here's the ad break coming right now.
What do you want me to ask him, or why do you want to talk to a psychologist?
Find out what's wrong with me.
Well, what do you think's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Thank you, Kami.
The detective in this next segment will attain further information about the supposed voices, only he will no longer have to tread carefully in order to maintain a friendly connection. He will still secure useful information, but also get confrontational as and when he pleases. The risk of frightening the suspect to the point where it stops the interrogation is no longer a concern.
When you hear the voices, are the voices like outside your head or inside your head when you hear them?
Inside.
Okay, so it's not like you don't hear a voice from that corner talking to you. It's inside your head. And is it always the same voice, or is it only one voice?
One voice, same.
And you said it's a man's voice? Yeah.
Yes.
Does it sound like anybody you've ever met? Anybody you ever seen on TV? Can you tell, like, by an accent? Is it what kind of? Is it an old man, young man, white man, black? Man. Young man? About the same age as you think? But it's only one voice you ever hear, right?
Yes.
Do you hear the voice when you're in bed at night sleeping?
Yes.
Do you ever see anything with the voice? Like some people say, oh, I see a person sitting in the corner.
Bro, this motherfucker was like, who needs a psychiatrist, dude? We got, like, he got him. Straight up. All he needed to do was, like, ask a couple questions to just, like, immediately pick it apart. It's crazy. How did he not even think this through?
You don't see anybody sitting over there, do you? It's just me and you, right? All right. Do you always obey what the voice tells you to do?
I try not to.
Okay. Well, how many... On any given week, how many times do you think you hear the voice? All the time?
Once every day.
Once every day? Morning, afternoon, night? Always the same time?
Usually in the afternoon.
About what time?
11 to 12.
Why do you think it's those hours?
I don't know.
It's always around lunchtime? Now, you talked about demons, and then you talk about the voice.
Yeah, that's the demon. The voice is the demon.
The voice is the demon. So there's not two...
The person, whoever it is.
Does it have a name?
No name.
Does it ever say, hey, my name's Nick? Does it use your name or use somebody else's name? Just a voice with no name.
Just a voice with no name telling what to do.
The real question I have here, sorry to pause it too much now that I said I don't pause it, but the real question I have here is this cop operating under the assumption, because of something that he realized, that this person is not actually, like, criminally insane, or is he just literally trying to straight up, it doesn't care if this person is has, like, a mental health problem or not, and is still trying to fucking establish that he doesn't have establish that so he can get like a confession ultimately.
Tell you to buy that AR-15?
Yes.
That's the real question.
Hey, buy that gun, it looks cool. Did the AR-15 get picked out because it was similar to the gun that an Army Ranger would carry?
No, it's because of the voice.
What do you think if
He doesn't need a
if
confession, but
he
wants to make sure that his confession is
buy this gun,
valid.
it's too expensive. What do you think the voice would have done to you?
Fucking hit with the book.
Did you stop talking to you?
No, tell me to hurt myself.
How would you hurt yourself?
Cut.
You're a cutter?
I'm a cutter.
Alright. When was the last time you cut yourself?
Earlier.
Earlier when?
When I was fishing.
Earlier today or
Earlier today.
Where were you fishing at today?
At a lake.
Okay. Before the school shooting?
Yes.
What did you cut yourself with?
Let's go.
Knife.
Those little scratches on your arms? Let me look at them. Come on, man. I get worse scratches weeding my flower bed than that. You weren't trying to hurt yourself.
Yes, I was. It wasn't sharp enough.
Wasn't sharp enough?
No.
How many knives do you own?
4, 5.
How long have you been cutting yourself?
Years.
Years? You ever cut yourself where you had to go to the hospital and get stitches? When you cut yourself, it's because the voice just told you to cut yourself. And if you didn't talk or you didn't listen to the voice, then you were going to be alone because your voice was your only friend. That's kind of what you're saying. Even though you have a biological brother. Since me and you have been talking, have you heard the voices? What's it said?
Saying cut yourself.
For you to cut yourself. Does the voice like me?
Huh?
Does the voice like me?
He doesn't trust you.
Why doesn't he trust me? I'm pretty relaxed, ain't I?
I'm trying to figure that out too.
Well, what doesn't he like about me? I mean, I'm kind of grinning because I want to know what the voice's problem is with me.
He's grinning because he fucking caught him in 4K.
I treated you fairly. I've given you water. I talked nice to you. You know.
You're too nice.
I'm too nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times has the voice talked to you while we've been in the room here together?
A lot.
Has the voice said jump out of the chair and do anything bad to that policeman?
Saying kill yourself now.
I don't really believe there is a voice, to be honest with you.
Voice.
No, I don't think there is.
I'm telling you the truth. There is.
No. I mean, I feel you probably want to kill yourself because of what happened, but...
No, the voice is telling me to kill myself.
Okay, but...
Damn!
The voice is telling you that the AR-15s is... You like guns, man. You wanted to be a ranger. You like guns. It's alright, there's cops like that. There's cops who got 50 million guns. You didn't buy guns because the voice said, hey, today I like Mossbergs, tomorrow I like AR-15s. You like guns.
Bro, that's a self-report by the cop, by the way.
Can you call the psychologist?
I've already got the questions from some of the psychologists. Some of the questions I asked you were from... Yeah.
I see.
That's the ones I asked you. You already...
No.
The questions were obviously from the investigation team and not a psychologist, but the suspect doesn't know this, and it's fascinating to observe his reaction when he sees the questions are not sympathetic in nature. He perhaps thought a psychotherapist would be asking him about his feelings and affording him some type of reassurance after he committed mass murder, and he becomes very unsettled once he realizes the procedure won't be quite as sympathetic.
Voices. Are the inside or outside of your head? What do the voices say? These are all questions I asked you. How many voices? You said one. Whose voice do you think it was? You didn't know.
What's wrong with me?
I don't know. I don't understand why you can't admit you like guns. You want to talk to a psychologist. Why didn't you talk to a psychologist when the voices started?
The voice is telling me not to, and I listen.
The voice was telling you not to talk to a psychologist?
Yeah, but myself, I wanted to.
You ever go to church?
I wanted to.
No, I'm saying ever in your life.
Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
I don't believe in God.
What do you believe in?
I feel like there's something.
Okay. But if you believe in demons, do you believe in angels? angels is the good.
Let this man
Demons
go,
are the
brother.
bad. But when you say the word demon, you think it's an evil spirit? Or what do you think it is?
A voice.
The subject had earphones in during the mass shooting. The topic now lands on the music he was listening to.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we don't like the same music. What kind of music we listen to? Name the group.
What was it? Mark Green.
You have to help me. Mark what?
Mark something.
What was the song though?
Sad.
That's the name of the song, Sad?
No, Salad Days.
Salad Days?
Fuck! DMCA! Okay, I gotta skip this part. I'm sorry. Oh, fuck! Oh my god.
Hold on a second.
That's a weird ass fucking song, dude.
Oh, you listen to more than one song?
To.
What other song you listen to?
Just a lot of sad songs.
Alright. Did you pick the music yourself? Or did the demon pick the music?
Demon, and then myself partially.
Alright, which ones did you pick?
The sad ones.
Which ones did he pick?
The evil ones.
The evil ones. Give me an evil one compared to a sad one. You already gave me a sad one. What's an evil one?
Panzermensch.
What?
Panzermensch.
Panzermensch.
What the fuck is this?
And what is that?
What the fuck is that? Wait. Dude, this dude is so fucking 4chan, it hurts, dude. I'm embarrassed to admit that sounded kind of... It sounded kind of good. He was a bit of a bop. Which is fucking... don't get mad at me, dude. I mean, it's... What up, Doug? What up, dog? Evil songs, anything. That sounded good, but not Mac DeMarco. No, Mac DeMarco sounded good, too. Is it Nazi shit? No? People are saying no. Okay.
Say.
Keep going.
I don't know.
I mean, there's no lyrics to it?
Oh, no. Oh, well, there is lyrics, but I don't know what it means.
But is it in English?
No.
What language is it in?
German.
German? Do you speak German?
No.
Then how do you know what the lyrics mean?
I don't.
So they could be happy, right?
I don't know if they're happy or not.
Well, again, you don't because you can't speak it.
The demon chose it. I didn't choose.
But you have one. How long do you think you had them on your playlist?
A long time.
Okay, so you listen to them a lot of times. So you had a playlist of music that the demon helped you pick out, but you picked out some of them.
Nicholas
I'm just
Cruz.
having a tough time understanding this demon thing.
Parkland shooter.
Nobody understands.
Well, the Xanax you were talking to me about earlier, where'd you get the Xanax? On the street or?
On the streets.
So you used to buy that? Other than Xanax and marijuana, what other drugs you never tried? Vodka? PCP? Cocaine? Heroin?
This right here, low key, like this detective's doing a great job, so I don't want to shit on him too much. But that betrays the fucking war on drug narrative and justification. That motherfucker knows that weed and Xanax don't cause you to demonstrate violent behavior or violent outbursts. He knows that.
Has right.
But for years, as he was a detective, he, among so many other people, probably still absolutely used that as a fucking aggravating cause. I just want to fucking point that out.
No.
Okay, Xanax, how many of those did you take when you used to take them?
5.
Okay, 5. What size bar? How big of? I mean, what color was it?
Half, sometimes full.
Okay, what color? They all
White.
White? Alright, but that was off the street. Did they help you sleep?
It made me drowsy.
Okay. Did it make the demon go away?
Yeah.
When was the last
Xanax is
time
not an
you did Xanax?
anti-hallucinogenic. He's thinking lithium, right? I mean, I don't know, but
A long time.
So if the Xanax helps you get the demons away,
Marijuana does it better.
marijuana does better. When was the last time you smoked marijuana?
Last week.
Last week? If you're making $1,200 a week, why didn't you smoke marijuana every day to get rid of the demon?
Illegal.
It's illegal?
Yeah.
It's illegal. It was illegal whether you do it once a week or once every 5 minutes. So why didn't you choose to get rid of the demon by doing it? Anytime you heard the demon, just light up a blunt. I mean, you had the money, man.
Because I knew it was illegal and I didn't want to do wrong, but he wanted to do wrong.
Okay. So the demon wanted you to do wrong, but then your good side didn't want to do wrong by smoking marijuana?
Even though it made him go away.
I hate doing illegal things that the demon tells in order to get rid of the demon, which is why I went and did a mass shooting. I don't know if he knows. Doing a mass shooting, also very illegal. Perhaps way more illegal than smoking a weed.
Even though it made him go away. Huh. Well, I don't know why you didn't tell the doctor then you had anxiety problems and marijuana and Xanax cured your anxiety and made the demons go away. It seemed like an easy fix, man. If that's true. You sure you didn't like the demon voice?
I don't like the demon voice.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Then why didn't you go to a doctor to get rid of it?
I was afraid. I'm just afraid to be.
Why, well, forget that for a second. Let me ask you another crazy question.
Okay.
If the demon, was the demon there that night? Ian beat you up on campus?
Huh?
Was the demon there that day when Ian beat you up on campus?
Yes. He told me to go up to him.
Okay, so who did Ian beat up? You or the demon?
Me.
Okay, so why didn't the demon do something to stop it?
I didn't do it.
Huh?
Well, I didn't.
I don't know. That's a good question because the demons tell you to do all these bad things. Why couldn't the demon get you mad enough to get the best of Ian?
God damn.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Why? Why?
I don't know. The demon's this
I don't know why.
all-powerful thing that tells you to do bad things and you're afraid of it.
Bro, he's literally RP checking him the entire time.
Why did the demon just take over right then when Ian was getting the best of you and get the best of Ian?
And I think he's antagonizing him on purpose to get him to fucking angrily respond.
Well, why did the demon not do that? Why do you think?
Trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I can't figure it out either because I don't think the demon exists.
Can I think?
I don't think it exists.
No, like.
I think that them. Go ahead, bud.
Am I able to like think to myself about it?
Yeah, sure.
That's all I'm asking.
Hey, you can think all you want. I'm just
thinking about the demon.
Oh my God, he's
well,
like, I need 5 minutes to fucking lie.
I'll come back and talk to you. I personally, I think you're using the demon as an excuse.
I'm not. I promise.
You could have stopped the demon by getting a prescription for marijuana. You could have stopped the demon by getting a prescription for Xanax. You could have stopped the demon by illegally doing marijuana, which you were doing anyway. You could have stopped the demon by doing Xanax illegally, which you were doing anyway. You could have stopped the demon anytime you want. You didn't want to stop the demon.
The subject seems to be coming to the realization that he's not going to be treated as a victim. As he begins to meet this reality, you will notice him exhibit signs of fear. You will then see him attempt to escape the confrontation by feigning a state of psychosis once more. The detective will recognize this, but this time will not afford reassurance. He will instead apply further condemnation. And a visibly frightening realization will engulf the suspect from that point forward. It's essentially the very beginning of retribution. The detective introduces him to the rest of his life at this moment.
Oh my God, this is so, in a weird way, I've never seen something so rewarding from the police side.
No, that's not true.
You didn't. You could have. I've given you 4 ways you could have stopped the demon, man.
This is like propaganda. This is more
Okay,
successful
now
propaganda
you're
than
just
anything
acting
else.
like that because...
No.
Okay, well, relax. You're just acting like that because I'm making sense. Calm down. I'm making sense, and you don't like when it makes sense.
No.
Because it doesn't fit into the story you're telling right now.
I'm telling you the story. It's true. It's just,
Well, why are you looking at your arm now?
I'm trying to understand why.
Well, why didn't you want to stop the demon?
I don't know.
Because I think you like the demon.
No, I don't.
Why didn't you stop it then?
I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon.
Well, that's if the demon even exists.
Can I get an attorney or something?
You want what? An attorney?
Yeah.
Did the demon or the voice just tell you to get an attorney? Okay. All right. We tell the voice that don't hit yourself in the head because the attorney the demon just requested. I will stop talking to you.
I'm scared.
You're scared of what?
Scared.
The moment that he realized it's over, the moment where he realized it's over, he fucking turned around, asked for an attorney, and is like, it's not because the demons are acting out, it's just because he's realizing that it's done. Oh my God, dude.
Protect me, man.
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you protect me?
All right. Well, again, your demon wants an attorney. Does the demon know an attorney? Any name in particular? Okay. All right. Well, just relax. You're done talking to me. And once again, I grabbed the wrong key.
As capital.
All right. Do me a favor. Stay seated. Put your hands, kind of sit forward in your chair. I'm going to put handcuffs behind you since you keep talking about hurting yourself. Hold on. Put your hand behind your back. No, not behind the chair. Behind your back. I don't want to make it that uncomfortable.
Oh, why don't you want me to hurt myself?
Because what did the demon say about me? I'm a nice guy.
What's going on right now? Oh, mom is here too. Holy shit. Real fucking freak shit, by the way, for the record. Real freak shit that he like didn't feel this kind of remorse for the actions at all. But all of a sudden, the reason why he's panicking and like acting out this way is because he's panicking. And the reason why he's fucking panicking is because he just realized like, oh shit, the consequences of said actions are going to destroy me. That's so fucking that's just like, that's actually psychotic.
As buff.
When the game is over, like he lost the game, he's like actually mad. Get fucked, you piece of shit.
I lived a mile away from the school he did this at. I remember all the cop cars.
Nicholas
driving by
Cruz
my
was
window
taken to
like
the
mad.
Broward County Jail, where he remains in isolation to this day. His trial date is yet to be scheduled.
The 20-year-old has been held without bond since last year's mass shooting that left 17 people dead. His attorney said he would plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence, but prosecutors rejected that offer and are seeking the death penalty.
Okay.
Hold on.
That video was insane, dude. This channel is insane. We gotta watch another.